the saga of the soul. It's a journey. But before that, a very special prayer we will chant together. And please repeat after me. Naham manushyo nacha deva yakshaha na brahmana kshatriya vaishya shudraha na brahmachari na grihi vanastava bhikshu nacha aham nija bodha sarupa. Nija bodha sarupa. This is a unique prayer, and it gives the whole philosophy of Vedanta, whole philosophy of Hinduism. I am not the man, I am not the human, and I am not the God, I am not the in-between God and human, yaksha. Then I don't belong to any caste, Brahmana, Kshatriya, any caste. I am not a brahmachari, I am not a householder even, not even I am a monk. Then who am I? And it says, Nija Bodha Sarupa. That knowledge Gautama received. He was a king, he was a prince, he got that knowledge. And immediately he became Buddha. And his Gautama name became secondary. He is known as Buddha, the knower. A knower of what? Knower of the Atman. And that is the journey. And in our first discourse, we have already discussed that how the human being, though they were very tiny and in that hostile nature, they were having nothing to support themselves, even then they discovered the secrets of the nature and became very powerful. And those discoveries are called education. And that's why education is the power for all human beings. And with that, utilizing that education, slowly the human being came into a wonderful society level, and from the life of kill or be killed, they started living, live and let live. Kill or be killed, that was the life. And then now they have developed live and let live. Perhaps our devotees, they know, I sometimes that my experience in Arunachal Pradesh, even today they are living in that, kill or be killed. And what happened, one of our ex-students, and our school is the first school over there. So the first generation who got some education, naturally the government of India accepted them, and now they are minister, MLA, MP. So one MP, he was an ex-student, and he was telling that story that one of his friends from the village, he told, every time you go to Delhi, we see only in the picture, why don't you take me? So he took him to Delhi, and then he took him to meet some officer in the office. So in the Delhi office, the moment you enter, there the lifts are there, elevators are there working, 4, 5, 6 elevators, but you have to go and register your name, then you are allowed to go up for the government officer, to meet the government officers. And he asked him to wait and entered into that office to get the permission for his friend. In the meantime, he is curious, and he saw the small room is getting filled with the human being going up, but no one is coming down, because that was office time, everybody is going up only. And that small room is coming back, there is no one. So he decided there is someone who is eating or killing these people. So they go up and they vanishes. Then when that elevator came down, the gate opened, there was no one. He was very curious. He was just peeping. Then some people came from the back. The time was everybody was hurry. Chalo, 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 please go in, go in. Then they pushed him, three gentlemen pushed him a little. He also went in, they also get closed, and then suddenly again that elevator came down, get opened, and three persons were bleeding, they were shouting, help, help. Though naturally the other people went, the police was there, guard was there, they arrested him. In the meantime, the MP came out and said, what? This is my friend, what happened? He was beating these people. And then the MP asked, hey, what happened? Why did you beat them? No, system is either you kill fast or you will be killed. So when they were taking me to offer to some demon over there in that house, so I first hit them. So that is the system. So kill or be killed. So he couldn't understand that is the elevator, they are going up, going to the office. Even in this present age, some of the people, they don't know. So we can imagine the days now in the society, live and let live. The discovering the secret of nature is stability came in life. But then the leaders understood the moment the stability is coming, people become lazy. And when they are lazy, obviously they will be working in such a way, wasting their time and destroying the society's fabric. So they went on inspiring. You know that our parents, they always inspire the student. Acha, in the class 4th grade, if you are first, I will give you this. So after that, and the 5th, 6th grade, if you are achieving this much marks, you are. So constantly, then class 10, then class 12, then the college, and going on inspiring. And they understood the moment there is everything, food, shelter and clothing, they naturally will be lazy. So they discovered wonderful words, very mystical. Charaiveti, charaiveti. Move on, do not stop. When you are moving forward, sometimes some of your friends, they will fall down. Don't cry for them. Pray for them and move. And that is the training we see in the army and the military. They will be constantly telling maybe your comrades, your friends, they are getting the heat, they are falling down, don't wait, move. And in the life also, similarly, it is a war. Constantly I am fighting, and so many things are going on happening. Look at the back, each and every one of us, where we were born, what was the situation, who were our friends. Do you remember? Many of the faces we have forgotten, all our childhood days friends. But we are moving. There also must be somewhere. And we are going on moving and reaching in a stage where I make. So that Charaiveti, our first discourse was dedicated to this Charaiveti. Today we will try to understand from where religion and spirituality evolved. Where from this religion came, spirituality came, what is it? A group of very intelligent people dedicated themselves to discover the root. This is very important. There's a book, The Root, written by someone from here, I've forgotten. So he is searching, he came from Africa and his ancestors came from Africa, and then he went back to that root. All people, they try to find out like that, and these people, they tried to find out where from we came. The whole humanity, the universe, the world, and all these beings, where from it came, who created? That was a wonderful search. And they started research to get the answer of 3 questions. What are those questions? Ko ayam, who am I? Kuto ayata, What is my origin? Kaba gati me. What is my goal? Where I am going to go after the death, where I am going to go? Each and every one is curious to know. Before birth, where I was, nobody asked. I am happy that I am here. Now the question is, after death, where I am going to go? And utilizing this curiosity, this weakness, I must say, of the human being, some of the people, they become rich. And they will be telling the fortune tellers, some of them, and some in the name of religion, they will say you will go to heaven if you donate $10,000. But whether he will go to heaven or not, we do not know. But this person cheating in the name of religion, going to hell, that is sure. But anyway, this is the weakness. Where I am going to go? From where I have come? Who am I? These researchers were known as the Rishi, Muni. These are the two words they used, Rishi and Muni. Rishi means the seers. They could visualize what is going to happen. They are the best leaders, should be rishis. So you have to understand what is going to happen afterwards. And the Munis are the thinkers. Manana is the thinking. They will be thinking why this person is behaving like this, and another person in the same situation, why he is not. So this type of all analytical mind analysis is going on. So this is called Rishi and the Muni. Now here let us just go, I am not going in details, what the modern science they talk about this. Many of you then you know in very details, only a little collection of how one is evolution, another is creation. These are the two words, the science they are using, and one is creation, another is evolution. What they say? First, the creation, they say, the universe and the solar system were suddenly created. So there is a Big Bang theory, all you know. So this Big Bang theory is there, but science is a progressive knowledge. It's not a conclusive knowledge. So naturally, when today somebody discovered something and said, this is this moment it is okay. After maybe a few years, someone else will come and say, no, it is not. So it is a progressive, constantly progressing. When we do some program, so there is a progressive thinking. Some people, Swamiji, last week you told that this thing should be done and now you are changing. I always say this is a progressive. The decision may change according to the situation. Now we were thinking that we will go in the morning, but the morning is raining, we change to afternoon. Maybe the whole thing we change, progressive way. You have decided this way and we will do it, good or bad. This is one thing good. But the progressive thing is always adjustive and progressive, going forward. So science is a progressive knowledge, but the religion is a conclusive. They have already concluded. What they have concluded, we will come later. Now here they say, the universe and the solar system were suddenly created. Evolutionists, they say, universe and the solar system emerged by naturalistic process. Again in the second they say, life was suddenly created. And they say, life emerged from non-life by naturalistic process. Third, all present living kinds of animals and plants have remained fixed since creation. Other than extinctions and genetic variation in originally created kinds has only occurred within narrow limits. And this evolutionists, they say, all present kinds emerge from similar earlier kinds, so that single-celled organisms evolved into invertebrates, then vertebrates, then amphibians, then reptiles, then mammals, then like this it goes on, including man. Then in the fourth they say mutation and natural selection are insufficient to have brought about any emergence of present living kinds from a simple primordial organism. But evolution is, they say, mutation and natural selection have brought about the emergence of present complex kinds from a simple primordial organism. Fifth, man and apes have a separate ancestry, and they say man and apes emerge from common ancestry. When you go to Jew, we see the apes, when you see, we have to remember, but there's one group only. But these people, they say, they separate. Then they say the Earth's geological features appear to have been fashioned largely by rapid, catastrophic processes that affected the Earth on a global and regional scale. But these people, the evolutionists, they say Earth's geologic features were fashioned largely by slow, gradual process with infrequent catastrophic events restricted to a local scale. And finally, they say the inception of the earth and of living kinds may have been relatively recent. But the evolutionists say the inception of the earth and then of life must have occurred several billion years ago. So these are the two different opinions in the modern science. And when we look at the religions, there's a conclusive knowledge, what they say, first we will go to Buddhism. Though the Hinduism is the oldest, because Lord Buddha was born in Hinduism and he grew into that, but we will come to that afterwards. Let us begin with the Buddhism, and only 4 major religions we will discuss. First is Buddhism, then Christianity, then Islam, then Hinduism. In the Buddhism they say, Lord Buddha, in the eye of the Lord Buddha, the world is nothing but samsara. Sammak sarati ya sa samsara, constantly changing. So world is nothing but things constantly changing, the cycle of repeated births and deaths. And to Buddha, the beginning of the world and the end of the world is within this samsara, that is changing. Since elements and energies are relative and interdependent, it is meaningless to single out anything as the beginning. Whatever speculation we make regarding the origin of the world, there is no absolute truth in our notion. So that is what the Buddhism say. And there's this beautiful story the Buddha used to narrate. He was a very practical type of person, and that is why he never wanted to spend time on discussing all these things which takes us nowhere almost. But people are curious, they like to know. Some of the people are very intelligent to understand also. So anyway, the Buddha used to give importance on practical practice of religion. And he said one day, one person approached the Lord Buddha and requested to explain the origin of the universe to him. He even threatened that if you are not explaining it, I am going to leave you. He was a follower of Lord Buddha. Buddha smiled and calmly said, it doesn't matter whether you follow or not, but listen. Then he said, the truth did not need anyone's support, Buddha said, and he told the story. Illustrate this, a parable that a man who was shot by a poisoned arrow, this foolish man refused to have the arrow removed until he found out all about the person who shot the arrow. By the time he discovered these necessary details, the man was dead. So he was shot by a poisoned arrow. Instead of taking care about how to survive, removing the arrow and putting the medicine, etc., he started inquiring who shot the arrow. And in the process, he was dead. One boy, he fell in the water, in the river, and he was drowning, he was floating, and he was shouting, "Sir, help me, help me." One philosopher who was standing on the bank, he looked at the boy and said, "Tell me, boy, who pushed you in the water?" And I conclude that someone pushed you because you don't know swimming. So naturally, you must not have gone over there by yourself. Somebody has to, who is that man first? Secondly, if you don't know swimming, why you are near the water? Thirdly, you are so young, why other guardians, your parents, are not nearby? He told, every answer I will give, please save me first. All this answer I will give you, but save me from the water first. So Lord Buddha, he was stressing on what you are going to do with all this knowledge, save your soul. So that's why this is the Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna also used to tell this in a different way. He used to, some people will be coming, sitting before him, and they will be asking this question, can you tell who is the biggest God, highest God? This is Brahma or Shiva? And they are ready to fight. Then he used to say, see, I asked this question to a person who was a very knowledgeable person, Pandit. And he told, when in the meeting this was decided who is higher, I was not present. So I don't know whether the Shiva or the Brahma. So it is all useless questions. And he used to say, you have come to eat mango, enjoy mango. In whose tree the mango, and then from where it has come, in that tree how many leaves were there, how many branches were there. It's a foolish thing. So if we go on, because our life is very short, when we are 20, 22, 24, our whole mind goes out in the world to earn and this and that. We are busy, sometimes looking back and seeing what the elderly people are doing and thinking, oh, they are wasting their time. Anyway, I don't have time. Then when he comes to that age, then he will say, okay, what you people were doing? Then we will say, it is not necessary now. Because then he won't understand. So in the beginning only you have to start. Today one group of a family came, the young boy naturally. So I was telling him about the religion, and he said, then what? After practicing religion, what I am going to get? This is a very practical question. Then promptly the answer came, and that is the truth. I told you will get peace. If you are not practicing religion, then afterwards you will suffer. Look at your parents. Look at your others. They are having everything. When I was a brahmachari in the Belur Math Training Center, and the duty, different type of, in the Durga Puja time, thousands and millions people visiting that mart, and they like to give donation at the time of puja. So different places, the counter to receive the donation. I was sitting just in front of a very famous Swami. Those who are Indians and little elderly, they know Indira Gandhi, as a young girl of 5 years, 6 years, used to come to that Swami, and Swami used to look after her. So Indira Gandhi used to love him very much, and all this. This Swami, he was not very good looking, not at all good looking. And then he was not educated because he joined the independence movement very early. And then finally, he was not educated, he was not good looking, and he was having no wealth, no status in the society. But in his room, 3 persons were sitting. One, the then very famous actress Suchitra Sen. Even if you now tell her name, most of the Indian people, oh, Suchitra Sen, like that. She was so beautiful and so famous. And then another person who was very strong writer, Borun Sengupta. So he was so powerful writer, he used to write against the authorities, the government. The government was scared. So he was powerful writer and thinker. Another was the governor of Punjab. So he was having a status in the society, naturally the governor. So these 3 persons were sitting inside. The door was ajar, the Swami inside. We were just sitting in front of his gate. Then one young boy came, younger than us. We were that time young, brahmachari. And he came and told, tell me in one sentence, why you have joined in the monastic order. I told the other 2 of my friends, they were thinking what to say. I told, can I give you the answer? Then yes, and not in one sentence, but in some narration. See, inside this room, these 3 people are sitting. One is beautiful and famous, one is very strong thinkers and famous, another is a Raj Purusha. And they are sitting before a Swami who is having nothing, no money, no social status, no beauty, no education. Why then they have come here? Swami has not gone to them, they have come over here. They are requesting, if you can open the door a little and peep. They are not sitting on the chair, they are sitting on the floor at his feet. Why? This Swami has got something which these 3, though having everything, couldn't get. What's that? Peace. So this is the peace, that is a wonderful thing that religion gives us. Friends, we will go to that afterwards. And now, after this science and Buddhism, we come to the next, and that is Christianity. And in the creation, the Christianity, they say, Bible begins with these words. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So where from the creation came? Straightway from God. Then we learn from the text that the earth was formless, empty, dark, and God's Spirit moved over the waters, preparing to perform God's creative work. And then God began to speak. Let there be light. The light came, etc. Now, they say in the Christian tradition, in 6 days, 7 days, the God has created. 6 days He is creating. And how? God created light and separated the light from the darkness, calling light the day and the darkness the night. Second, God created and expands to separate the waters and called it sky. The sky and the earth were separated. God created the dry ground and gathered the waters, calling the dry ground land. And the gathered waters seas. On day 3, God also created vegetation. Therefore, God created the sun, the moon, the stars, and to give light to the earth and to govern and separate the day and night. These would also serve the sites to mark the seasons, days, and years. And the day 5, God created every living creatures of the seas and every winged birds, and blessing them to multiply and fill the waters and the sky with life. 6th day, God created the animals to fill the earth. On day 6, God also created man and woman. I am giving this, most of you know this. I am reading because this is very, very important. The last creation was human being. The man and the woman was the last, and Adam and the Eve. Now the seventh day finished his work of creation, and so he rested on the seventh day, blessing it and making it holy. So he created and he blessed. Friends, we will see when we will be discussing the Hinduism, the Vedanta, almost the same thing in a different words, a more convincing way, of course. And now in the Bible they say God was very pleased with his creation. 6 times throughout the process of creating, God stopped, observed his handiwork and saw that it was good. On final inspection of all that he had made, God regarded it as very good. So the earth and this creation is very good. And then finally God told, let us make man in our image, in our likeness. And this is the first time that God is using plural, us. The God was all alone. And now this time the God is telling, let us make man in our image, in our likeness. This is the only instance the God told, and that is some of the theologians, they explain that here the God meant the Trinity, the God, the Spirit and the Son of God. So this Trinity that came on the seventh day, God rested. And this is how the Buddhism, then the Christianity, then the Islam, now we will read what they say. Allah created the heavens and the earth and all that is in between them in 6 days again. So some people, they say they have taken from Christianity, either directly or we can say obviously they were influenced, because the Christianity, the generating in the place, it is so near to the Islam. So obviously the influences were there. In the 6 days after completing the creation, the Quran describes that Allah settled himself upon the throne to oversee his work. Almost the same thing. Allah is never done with his work. Here a little change is coming in the Allah is never done with his work, because this is a special thing of the Islam. They say the process of creation is ongoing. Each new child who is born, every seed that sprouts into sapling, every new species that appears on earth is a part of the ongoing process of Allah's creation. He is with you wherever you may be, and Allah sees well all that you do. So these are the opinions of these great and famous religions. Now about the Hinduism. In Hinduism we find 2 words. One is Abhudaya and Nisreyasha. This we need to explain because, friends, we are discussing about the creation and we are the created being. Now if the computer suddenly start thinking, who is my creator? Let me know. Will the computer be able to do that? Yes and no. Yes, if the creator gives the data already feed in the computer, and if you think in this way, you will know me, the creator. If there is no data, computer cannot do anything. It can know everything because that was fed in him, that it fed in it. And now you'll never know about the creator. That is the problem, about the creation and the creator. But you will wonder how the human brain trying to reach that, and afterwards in the Hinduism only realizing the truth. Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati. When you yourself become God, then only you know. Sometimes some people, they will be telling so many things. Swamiji, you are in the ashrama, and mostly in India there are many demands are there. Then society needs some services which the social organizations are not giving, the government is not giving. So they come to the religious organization and they will be complaining, why you are not doing this, why you are not doing that. You know, some people came to Belur Math, our headquarters, and they told, why don't you take up the work of maintaining the road, public road? So, because the road in the very bad shape, so they came in a group and they wrote an application and to the General Secretary, we will go to the Prime Minister, to the President, or anyone if you want, but take up the maintenance of the road. And Swamiji told, give us some time. We have left our hearth and home to meditate, to think about God. Still we are doing so many other things, running the school, running the college, running the university, the hospital, so many things we are doing. Now you are asking to maintain the roads? Then after some time you will ask us to maintain your families? So it's too much. So let us, but anyway, the road is really very bad shape, we will also approach to the proper authority. So the demand comes. You do, you do, you do, you do. Why? We need the perfection. Now who can be perfect? There's a story, funny story. From the pulpit, one person was talking about God and he said, God is perfect. Is there anyone in this world who is perfect? Everybody was quietly listening. We are not perfect. Is there anyone in this world who is perfect? Then suddenly at the back, from the back bench, one hand raised. Then the preacher was taken aback. Hey, you think that you are perfect? Not me, the first husband of my wife. Because the poor fellow constantly listening from the wife, my first husband was perfect, you are not. So he is disgusted, and here at least he came out with the wind. So releasing that is, can any be perfect? Yes, we can be perfect. If we become God ourselves, this is the speciality of Hinduism. Kim rodashi sakhe tui sarva shakti. Why you are crying? You are all power. So that is there every time they say, who said that you are sinner? No. Who said you are weak? No. Whatever weaknesses, all these things, that is for some time it is coming. But you are the full of strength, knowledge, everything you can do. Swami Vivekananda, he was telling, if you think you like to break the Himalaya, you can do that only with the thought power. There's a small booklet, you can read that, very inspiring, the power of thoughts. The thought, the thinking is so powerful. Thinking is so powerful. So what the Jesus did, he never went to fight with the Romans. He never killed anyone. He only thought and thought and thought and talked about. Sometimes some people will say, why you people go here and there talking about God? What is the necessary? Do you think the society will change by that? I told you, read this book. A small little book you can keep in the pocket. Swami Vivekananda's words. We go and talk about God, and there we aims. It is the power of God. It is the power of God, the thought power. And here we find in a very famous Hindu scripture, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, we find a wonderful scenario, incident that is happening in the royal court of a very famous king, Rajarshi Videha Janak. The two words are used before his name. One is Rajarshi, Raja plus Rishi. Raja means the king and Rishi means the thinker, the seer. He was both. He used to maintain his kingdom and he was a very famous king. He was very powerful and his kingdom was full of progress. So these two things were continuously he was maintaining. So that is the beauty. Sometimes some people think if we have to realize God, we have to leave our hearth and home. Some people they think in that way. But Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, even in the Bhagavad Gita also, why not? Gyasha nitya sannyasi yo nadeshti nakamishati. These are the two qualities you develop. Wherever you are a sannyasi. Nadeshti nakamishati. He is not saying no to anything. He is not seeking for anything. So, the attachment and aversion, it is not there, is a sannyasi. But the problem is, if you are in the samsara, if you are in the household, there's a lot many duties you have to perform. So, they say it is better to come out and concentrate totally, because lifespan is short, strength is weak and not much. So, naturally that way you have to give. Here the Rajarshi Janaka, he in his royal court, a group of rishis, and they are all sitting and a debate is going on. When we will study in the course of time, we will study this Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, if not completely, at least some overview we will give. There we will find the dialogue. There we will see how the things are coming up, and in a wonderful way. Who are there? Arthabhaga. There's one of the rishis, name of the Arthabhaga. Most of the people, most of the rishis, they never gave their name. They were not for name and fame. So never mentioned their names, though they did worked wonderful things. Some of the names are coming down. Among those, there are ladies also. Some people they complain, in India, ladies are not getting the education. Who said? And in the process we will come, and maybe in next classes, in next discourses, when we will go through the roads of this history, we will find how the things are happening. Through the passage of the history, that also we will go. So this way we will see Arthabhaga and Brahmavadini, the Gargi, who was the daughter of Vachanaku. Now the kingdom of Rajarshi Janak, there the things were happening. One is, he was very rich, Rajarshi Janak, and powerful. So, Abhudaya, materialistic progress. Both the things they were keeping together. One is materialistic progress, and at the same time, to balancing the materialistic progress, this Nisreyasha, spiritual progress. If you are not having the spiritual progress, then you have the lot of money and power, what happens? In the Middle East, I visited 2-3 times. I saw, and I was really feeling sorry. Fabulously rich, fabulously. You cannot imagine the richness. And how they are utilizing those richness? Very peculiar. I don't like to mention all these things. So this is the moment you get the power, moment you get the money and the wealth, but if your mind is not trained, then just recently, Rabindranath Tagore's father, you know, the famous poet, he was a landlord, very rich person, but he used to keep his children, they were growing up in a very simple manner. Not that because he is rich, all sort of dresses will be there, money will be flowing and all, nothing like that. Very simple, very hard life. And then slowly they grew up. Each and every brother, Rabindranath's brothers, are all successful. That is the training. When you go on giving everything to the children, they don't understand where from it is coming. As long as you give, you are a good father, good mother. The moment you don't give, you are not. And why? Because the balance should be there. And in the social life also, human life, social life is a unit and together. So this same way it was growing. And here we find the Rajarshi Janak, he has invited the rishis, and the debate is going on. Yagyavalketi hovacha. O Yagyavalka, please tell us. Yadidam sarvam mrittur anyam kasitsa devata yasya mrittur anyamiti. Look at the question. It's a wonderful question. Who is asking? This gentleman, he is asking. Arthabhaga. Now, Janaka told, you all come over here. Our Rajarshi, this Janaka, he invited all people and told, you come and debate over here. And who will be the successful in the debate? I will give him 1,000 cow. In those days, cows were the wealth. 1,000 cow. It is all ready. All were sitting. Who can say, I am the highest? Naturally, that will show that you are not humble. Everybody was sitting over there, waiting to someone to stand up. Then suddenly Yagyavalkya was very famous. Again and again the name of Yagyavalkya will come. He came and he shouted to his disciples, hey boys, take those cows to my ashrama. They all told, what is it? You came and you told, take the cows? We are all sitting for those cows only. And before you take those cows, you have to argue with us. You have to give the answer. Do you think that you are a knower of Brahman? Yagyavalkya told, I offer my respect, pranam, to the knower of Brahman. I am not a knower of Brahman. He didn't say, I am not a knower of Brahman. He only said, I offer my pranam at the feet of the knower of Brahman. Then this is a humbleness. Then the question asked, what is that question? Please tell, O Yagyavalkya, since all these are the food of death, they are using anna, anna means food, food of death, they have observed the death. Death is a mystery, like the birth. Death is a mystery. This man was with me just now, and suddenly he is not. Where he has gone? He is just before me. Whole body is there, all the limbs. As I knew that person, everything is there, but he is not there. What is it? Who has taken his life? Where it goes? That they are asking the question. Yagyavalketi hovacha. O Yagyavalkya, please tell us. Yad idam sarvam mrittur annam. Very simple way they are telling. As all these are the food of death, then who may that deity, who may be that God, whose food is death? That means, is death permanent? Or he is also temporary? Is there anyone higher than the death? Who is eating the death or killing the death or bringing end to the death? Is there anything like that? So these are the questions they are asking. The details, answer, etc., if we get time when we will be studying this, so we will discuss. Now, second question, again the Arthabhaga is asking, please answer, O Yagyavalkya, when this man dies, do his organs depart from him or not? What happens to the prana after death? What is the Atman? What is the real identity of a being, a jiva? What is that by which everything is controlled, but that is not affected or attached with anything? If this is not science, then what is science? Sometimes the people will be discussing about the Hinduism and they do not know that there is no creator. And so some people, they will be very with great confidence, they will say, Hinduism is not a religion. And then what? If Hinduism is not a religion? They will say Hinduism is not a religion. It is a way of life. Not understanding, they say Hinduism also a religion. But the religion The moment they say religion, it is some practices that you have to practice. In Hinduism, they say being and becoming. You be that. If you are going every day to a particular place and then reading a particular book and then doing this, then doing that, you are a religious person. In Hinduism, they don't bother about that. They say you only practice some of the things which your mind will be elevated. Satyam Bada. Stick to truth. Dharmam Chara. Whatever is your duty, that you perform perfectly. So all these 1, 2, 3, 4, that is the religion. Going to temple, you may or you may not. If you go to temple, do you think that you are a religious man? May not be. And if you are not going to temple, doesn't mean that you are not a religious man. This is the wonderful, how people will know that you are a religious man, how you will know that you are a religious man. Looking at yourself, can I feel for others? When the others are suffering, can I feel that really they are suffering? Can I feel that they are my own? Here, on the 11th September 1893, one young Swami Vivekananda, he gave the first, addressing the audience of 7,000 strong, he said what? Sisters and brothers of America. The English words only. And he was talking before them, the English speaking people. What is special? Sisters and brothers, everybody knows the meaning. But he said and he meant it. The moment your words, you mean, you really, I love you really. And some people, I saw this movie, they are telling, I mean I love you. That means many of the times they didn't mean it. Simply say love you. Then afterwards, I told only, then I forgot. You go away. It's not like that. I mean. And that comes from the core of the heart. And when Vivekananda said, sisters and brothers of America, they stood up. They clapped for 3 minutes. Why? It touched their hearts. So that is telling you have to realize the truth. And these are the questions. And questions are coming in such a way and so deep. And the analytical thing, the answers, today I won't be able to. Next day again we will continue this, the search for the root. And then maybe in the next class or in the third class we will discuss about the philosophy, what the philosophy is describing. That is also very interesting. In Indian philosophy, 6 systems of Indian philosophy are there. And how each and every one is describing how the creation was done. So wonderful. So we will go through that. Yaggabalketi hovacha yatrayam purusham riyata udasmat prana kramyantah neti. Where this life goes, when this man dies, do his organs depart from him? Or organ means not the hands and others. Organ means jnana indriya. So these basic things you must have to know to follow the philosophy of that Hinduism. Notice that the moment say organ, there are 10 organs. 5 organs, karmendriya. Karma, indriya, active. What are those indriyas? Hands, then leg and all. Jnanendriya, this eye, then the ear, then the nose, then the tongue and also the skin. Why jnana? Jnana means knowledge. Why it is these senses bringing knowledge from outside. The moment I see something, the knowledge is coming to me. Hear something, the knowledge is coming to me. Smell, touch, everything bringing knowledge to me. So this way he is asking, when the man is dead, whether all those are already gone or they remain with him. What happens to the prana? The life was there. Where it gone? The life, you cannot burn it. You cannot cut it. So you cannot destroy that consciousness, where it has gone. That is the question. And then what is Atman? You call about Atman. Then we will come to the definition of the Atman afterwards. And again, Kushitaka Putra Kohala asked. Another rishi, his name is Kohala. He is asking, O Yagyavalkya, tell me precisely about Brahman. The previous one was Arthabhaga was asking about Atman. Now he is asking about Brahman. What is the definition of Brahman? What is the definition of Atman? In our next class we will discuss. And in the Chandogya Upanishad we find again is they are asking the same question. In the Chandogya Upanishad we find, in the beginning, O dear boy, one father, a rishi, is teaching his son. The son also became a great teacher afterwards. In the beginning, O dear son, this was being alone. The one being was there, consciousness was there. In the Christianity we find God. In the Islam it is Allah, and it says being. And one only without a second. In the Islam also they say La ilaha illallah. The God is only one and it has no two. In the Christianity they say God is one. And Buddhism deny God at all. So they don't accept God. And here Hinduism also say that without a second, one without a second. Now the question, allow me 1 or 2 minutes. The one means what? As a human being, we are one, separated from the animals. If there is a group of animals are there and the human being, then we can say they are separated. We are one. Is that type of one? No. Then they will say, is it like in the same jungle there are different type of trees? Jungle, there are also trees, but some big trees, some small trees, some herbs, some. Is it like that? Whole jungle is a one unit. But in that jungle there are differences are there because the trees are different. In the same way, among the human being, there is educated, uneducated, rich, poor, beautiful, ugly, all these differences are there, but as a unit is a human being. Is it like that one? No. Then finally they say, I am one, but I have 2 hands and have a head and the legs, our limbs are there. Is it like one? No. And this one means all inclusive, and that is Hinduism. The moment anyone says that I am a proud Hindu, but I don't like that person and don't allow him to come, he is no more Hindu. That is the problem in Hinduism. When hundreds of people they came from different faiths and beliefs, they could not say no to them because then they will deny their own religion. The Hinduism is vast, Hinduism is big and all inclusive because Ekaham Bahut Shyamavi. That was the word. And slowly Tashmad Ba'i Tashmad Atmana Akasa Sambhutaha Akashad Vayu Vayoragni Agni Apaha Adva Prithvi Prithvya Aushadeha Aushayadya Brahm Anyam Anyat Purushaha. So in the Taittiriya Upanishad it goes on giving from that Atman the sky was created, space, and from the space slowly everything is coming and ultimately the human being. Christianity and Islam they say 6 days. It's a no, not like that at a time, but it's coming from there. So friends, we will discuss about this in the next time, and because I'm afraid If I continue, I'll have to provide you the lunch and we don't have it. I'm joking. So sometimes some people, they bring the food and we feel so happy to offer you the food. Why you know? Because so many gods are eating. When all are taking food means that it's not many people are eating and they will go and say, oh, Ishatmananda, he fed us, or the items he brought back. No, not like that. But this is always, every time, you have to keep in mind, there is nothing but God. One day a person came, very strong man, he came, lifted that box, so heavy, our donation box, instead of to take it. He kept over there, he was trying to take it out. Then someone came and told, one of our Swami, he came and told, what you are trying to do? No, I was saying anything is there or not, but you are not supposed to see. Okay, I am leaving it. He left it and went away. Then our Swami brought it back over here. So we are closing the door. So it is though we can, because today you are all here, but most of the time God and we three. So nobody. Naturally. So one Swami, 83 years old, he is in the room, and another Swami, maybe 73, I am 63. So we are in the stages, we are there. Who is going to open the door? And so like this, we are little closing the door. If you come and find the door closed, please ring and we will open it. Though we have written it is open, the timing is there, but sometimes some situations. Now this person also came, he was also trying to take something, but we are not sorry because he needed money. But we cannot give it because this money don't belong to us. I cannot simply say give it because this money belongs to a society, and society means you people. You are giving and donating. I have no right to do anything with this. So what are the that is called dharma. Performing one's duty. You have given me the duty, our has given me duty. I am performing, trying to perform as best as the way, and that way. And I am happy that I got this opportunity to do this. Thank you, friends. Let us once again remind ourselves by chanting this mantra. Naham manusho nacha deva yaksha na brahmana Shaitra Vaishya Shudraha Na Brahmachari Na Grihi Banasthava Bhikshu Nacha Aham Nija Bodha Sarupaha Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat.